Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Men in Black International, starring Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Kamal Nanjiani, Rebecca Ferguson, Rafe Spall, Emma Thompson, and Liam Neeson, and directed by F. Gary Gray. Now, I should say right now, if you're expecting a Thor Ragnarok from this movie, you ain't gonna get it here. Like, as far as the humor goes. Let's just get into it and you'll see what I mean. In 2016, in Paris, Agent H, played by Chris Hemsworth, and Agent High T, played by Liam Neeson, hunt for an alien called the Hive, or an alien race, is what they're called. And that opening sequence felt very awkward. 20 years earlier, Molly, played by Tessa Thompson as a little girl, sees an alien creature called Tarantium, and the CGI on that little guy looked real bad, and I don't care for any of these characters. Molly goes to the MIB, and we see Frank the Pug as a cameo, and she goes to O, returned by Emma Thompson, and she hires Molly and begins to become Agent M. She's recruited by O, and it's nice to see someone from the first three movies, but it doesn't get me to care. M goes to London and meets Agent High T and H. I honestly don't like this world of International Men in Black Station, and I'm thinking my childhood movie is ruined by this movie. And I don't know those guys that look like the Diagonum, and these guys as villains look awful, and I was very confused, and this movie has no plot. Agent C, played by Rafe Spall, is not only a terrible character, but he got under my skin because he's the biggest a-hole in this movie, and I was very annoyed by him. H goes to his friend Vargas and his club, and Vargas looks ugly as a CGI character. And he dies later in that sequence, and I was kind of sad, but I just don't care. If that makes sense. And gives the MacGuffin to M, as he just can't trust H, and I'm having a headache at this point. M and H go to Marrakesh as they meet Nazul as he fixes a space scooter, and they get compromised, and Agent C goes to M and H, and High T is covering their booties, and they meet Pawnee, voiced by Kamal Nanjiani, or Gianni, excuse me very much. And he may be the best character in this movie, but he's got nothing to do in this movie except serve as queen, and that felt like a real problem. M and H go on a speed chase with the Men in Black and arrive at a desert, and that was taking too long. This is the longest Men in Black movie yet to date, and maybe you could have cut some things out of this movie. I felt the 1 hour and 55-minute length. H goes to an old flame named Riza, played by Rebecca Ferguson, who gets M to hide and get Pawnee to fight her. And my biggest problem is the way director F. Gary Gray directs these actors. And they're giving very poor performances. And M remembers the Tarantiums she met as a little girl, and that felt very poor. And the fight choreography looked like stunt actors doing the moves. High T finds M and H and take them back to MIB as they give the MacGuffin to High T, and she wants to go back to his home world. The Hive, and I was not happy with that because when I first saw this trailer, I knew Liam Neeson was in this movie. As soon as I hear his voice, he's a bad guy. And without the trailers telling me absolutely nothing, and I went spoiler free, and I knew from the first trailer he's the bad guy, and I was pissed it was him by the end of the day. The final battle, when we find out H was neuralized by High T, they have the battle, and I was checked out of this movie at this point because it's a headache. As the battle is over, O comes in to tell Emma job well done, and she says her goodbyes to H and Pawnee, and I was glad this movie was over at this point. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.1 out of 10. This is the worst Men in Black movie by far, and they should not make any more with this cast. Originally, because without Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, who I was missing, by the way, this franchise can be quite a mistake, and if I were anybody, stick to the original. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for Men in Black, and until whenever we get the next one,